Hey friends, thanks for joining us today for the Black Hills Connection podcast. Today we have another special guest who brought some awesome props with her today. This is Clarissa with Sacred Spiritual Space.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Just start us off and tell us a little bit about yourself and sort of how you got into this journey, this like outreach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to share a little bit. So I found yoga when I was in college, and that's really where a lot of this came from. And I've been teaching and practicing yoga for over 15 years. And the more my practice evolves and expands and grows, the more spaces I find of interest. And so I teach everything from yoga and movement practices to breathwork practices, pranayama, mindfulness, meditation, and then do sound classes. I also work with cacao and lead retreats and do events and celebrations for different points in the year, and just really love having the opportunity to work with people and to help people find their voice or find their movement pattern again, or to reconnect to themselves. And I do a lot of work one-on-one with individuals. And that's a really beautiful place to just help people release and unlock maybe stuck emotions, or it's like when you work with sound is like a massage for your internal nervous system, you know. It just really helps you relax and find space. So.
I love that. Because, I was telling you earlier, I have attended a sound bath. Had no idea what it was before, and sometimes you think like, really, like, what is, sometimes you come in a little like skeptical. I feel like a lot of people do. But, after I, attended this, it was just so amazing because you just close your eyes and you're literally just laying there with like all this sound, but the sound kind of like activates different spots in your brain almost.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about what like a sound bath or sound shower is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing to do is maybe just to do like a little demo. So I brought one of my crystal bowls, and crystal bowls and other sound instruments vibrate to a particular frequency. And you as a human being are made up of a large percentage of water. And if you've ever like seen how water reacts to sound or frequency or voice or attitude or emotion, our bodies react in a very similar way. So I'll just have you take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then just listen for a moment and notice what happens. So almost automatically our system slows down. Our cortisol levels lower, our heart rate slows, the rhythm and speed of our breath releases and relaxes, and it calms the whole nervous system. It takes us out of that fight or flight, the chaotic space that most of us live in a very regular, almost just, it's hard to get out of it sometimes.
Overstimulated.
Yeah,
constantly.
always overstimulated.
Yeah.
And it just brings you back into a space of feeling balanced and nourished and taken care of, and that's something that I think everyone can use.
Sure. Yeah, after you did that, I instantly felt relaxed.
Yeah.
So it just really amazes me, I think, when people hear this or see this, they're like, oh, what's that kind of stuff, but there is something to it, because I feel like this day and age, we're always on our phones. We're constantly inundated with sounds and information and lights and just we're overstimulated constantly, and I think our nervous systems are just like on high alert all the time.
All the time.
Right. And there's just no time to like decompress.
Yeah.
How are you decompressing? In your bed scrolling? Like that's not, so like stuff like this is just so interesting.
Yeah. Most of us need space in our daily life to relax and decompress, as you say. And we're just, as the seasons change, like we're moving now more into fall and winter. And so this is a time when we slow down. Naturally, like we lose sunlight and the temperature drops. And so we're actually being invited into a space of introspection. And one of the things that you can do to really even just connect to that space of introspection to refuel your system is to create some space for some self-care. And so one of the things that I like to provide for clients and for people I work with is sound. I work with people and their voice. And so we work with voice through breath work, through vocalizing, through toning. A lot of times, like, I don't know if you've ever lost your words or like not been sure what to say. Yeah, it happens to a lot of us. And so there are these moments when things get kind of stuck in your throat, and being able also to release in that sort of way, whether it's through breath work or toning, is also a really wonderful way to just let go of stress and tension. And most of us are faced with a lot of stress, whether it's in work or family or other things happening in the world, you know? And so we're just really creating and cultivating a space for people to find balance, to find harmony, to be back in resonance with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, just talking to you, I'm just like entranced now. I just feel zen. So, you know, we're talking also meditation. You know, you see it everywhere. It's huge now. I mean, it should have been huge like forever ago, but people are just being more aware, I think. So meditation, if somebody watching like, I don't know how to meditate, I don't even know where to begin, and how long do I do it for?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's a very common question. It's almost I probably get that question or like that comment about as much as I can't touch my toes, so I can't do yoga, right? And truly, like, none of that actually matters. Like, it's all about intention. So if you sit down with your feet on the ground and your spine long and your shoulders rolled back, your chest open, your belly soft, and just relax all the muscles in your face, and you take 3 to 5 long, deep breaths. And just quiet your mind.
There we go.
Yeah, just long inhale, long exhale. You don't have to do anything special. Suddenly, again, it's just like with the sound, the cortisol levels in your body drop. You relax the muscles, the tension in your face softens. A lot of us are carrying unexplored tension in our face, even just in our jawline. We're constantly being asked to perform or to show up or, you know, to be a certain way. And if you just give yourself some space to breathe, that's meditating. It's finding spaciousness for yourself. It's finding mindfulness. And then there are many, many, many kinds of meditation practices. So once you start to find and like feel that sense of calm and inner peace, then it starts to feel interesting and curious. You're like, oh, I'd really like to experience that a little bit more, you know? And so there's all kinds of practices out there. And sometimes it's easy to get lost in the numerous opportunities available. But what I like to tell clients is just to find, you know, 5 to maybe 15 minutes a day, especially right in the morning when your mind is clear and you haven't engaged with your phone or your family or anything else that's happening in your life, to just breathe, because you're still connected to that space of sleep. And so your mind isn't quite as active. It feels a little bit easier, you know, to be in that space of calm. And if you can't do it in the morning, I always tell people to try to do it right before you go to bed and just sort of let your day play back through you. It's a practice called recapitulation. And so you just recapitulate your day, you just sort of like let it play like a movie in the background without engaging. And it just really helps to integrate your day so you don't go to bed thinking about all the things that happened at work or with your kids or between your neighbor or whatever, you know, you can just sort of relax and fall into that sleep space.
Oh yeah, that's so important too.
Yeah.
Because I feel, there's like this thing about meditation, like, oh, you think you have to like sit like this, cross-legged and have candles and like all this, but really you don't need any of that. It's just calming the mind.
Yeah.
Really.
One of my favorite things to do is to go out in the hills and to be in nature and to walk in the trees. And I find that to be a very mindful practice. And so even if you're just like taking your dog for a walk in the morning, maybe that's where you start. Maybe you just start by noticing the sounds of the birds. Or as the leaves, you know, change color, they're going to like change sound. And so the rustling sound of the leaves could be really interesting. And what I really enjoy is helping people get curious and have like childlike curiosity about the things happening around them. Because sometimes we get really lost in our phones and our computers and our daily lives. But if you like come back to that space, I have a 3.5-year-old, and so I'm like living this right now.
Yeah.
But he's so curious about everything, you know, he wants to know where this comes from, why this makes this sound, why this doesn't work, or like why this is happening. And so it's really put me back in this space of curiosity.
Yes.
And it makes it easier, you
Yes.
know, and more fun.
Yeah, it really does. And you did touch on mindfulness there. So I think one of the things you're touching on is just noticing things when you're sitting here. What am I hearing? What is the air like?
Yeah.
What do what do I taste? Or just what do I feel? Just all those different senses.
Absolutely.
Sort of.
Yeah. So let's try something.
Ooh.
So I brought, this is one of my favorite instruments. It's made out of native prairie grass. And I'm just going to, again, have you close your eyes.
Okay.
And I just want you to notice what this sound brings forward for you.
Just feels relaxing, kind of.
Yeah. Does it take you into any space, any environment?
It reminds me of outside nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even just like the simple act of listening to the sounds of nature, again, like it brings you into the space of mindfulness. And I think sometimes people get lost in definitions of things or protocols. They think, again, like you said, you have to be seated in a certain way. You have to have all your accessories around you. But if you don't have anything around you, you can still be mindful. You can still meditate. You can still find peace and just balance in your body. And one of the practices that I really like, especially if I can bring like an accessory, one of my favorite tools is my drum.
Ooh.
And so the drum,
Can I feel it?
absolutely, yep. The drum represents like the heartbeat. And so when you're connected to the heartbeat, your own heartbeat, like this really brings you back into like a feeling of being grounded. So you're not like off in your chaotic mind. And again, it helps to kind of entrain your brain to the rhythm of the drum, which then entrains your heartbeat, your breathing pattern. And so it brings you out of these spaces of fight or flight. I like to tell people if they have an opportunity that owning a drum is a really like, that would be a really great thing to do, you know? And then just like, you kind of self-soothe.
I was going to say,
drum.
it was really soothing.
Yeah.
You just kind of, again, you just feel like calm.
Yeah.
Almost instantly.
Almost instantly. It's one of my favorite tools to work with. I think it's such a beautiful aid and ally in this work. And, you know, the work that I do with individual people is often because like they're coming to me because maybe they've been through some sort of trauma, or they're really stressed, or they, you know, are trying to work through some sort of physical limitation, or something has happened. And a lot of times we're working to release all of those old stories and patterns so that you can come back into your radiance, like you can glow from the inside out. It's, again, it's like this internal deep massage and release for your nervous system. You know, it helps to move stuck energy, stuck stories out of your body. And for a lot of people, like that is something that they need, you know, and it's helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like almost everyone has some kind of trauma. You know what I mean? Like something stuck somewhere for almost literally all of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the more you dig into this, you know, it's just the more interesting it becomes. And you're like, yes, it's definitely true, because the body keeps score, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
Yes.
And that is true. Like, and you might not even realize you're holding on to something like that until you start digging into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I've had a lot of people I've worked with where after a session or two, we've moved beyond the thing that they came in for. And we've actually like moved into this other space. Like there's a whole other layer of something that we're working through. And oftentimes if we can get down to like that root of where the tension lies, where the fear is, where the unhappiness is, where the stress is, we can start to release that and then keep like moving it. Because anytime you go back to the story, you're like, oh, okay, I'm back in that moment. Like I still feel everything I felt in that moment, you know? And so when I work with people, especially one-on-one, like that's where a lot of that healing happens. And then when I get to do group sessions, we're working with collective energy typically. So we as a community carry a lot of each other's energy, right? And so like we're often feeding off one another. So if you've ever had an experience where you've walked up to someone and instantly you're like, oh, I really want to talk to this person. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm so drawn to them right now. Like you're tapping into their energy field and they're like radiating that toward you, and you do the same to other people. And so it could be vice versa. You could also walk up to someone and think, I don't think I want to talk to that person today. Like, I don't know what's happening, but like, that's not for me. And so when we're in a group space, when I do group events, we actually get to kind of play with that. And that's really interesting because typically people come in their own world. They've just left their family. They've just gotten out of their car. They just got off the highway, you know, and they all land and everyone's sort of in chaos. And then by the end, the group collective energy is like calm. It's peaceful. Like everyone's sort of in resonance with one another. And that's really interesting too. You know, it's really fun to play with.
Sure. And I feel like, you know, once you sort of get this calm state, you know, then it's easier just to move on with other parts of your life and everything else makes sense. You know, your cortisol, your stress comes down, and then your body works better, you know, then everything just kind of falls in line.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. People get better sleep. They're less quick to lose their temper. Their levels of stress go down. And so if your levels of stress go down, typically you're able to digest food better. You're able to process experiences better. And so just overall, like your relationship to your life is improved, you know, and you're not just living in that chaos. You're living in a space where you actually can enjoy.
Yeah, you're just more conscious, I think. Because I think a lot of times we're on the hamster wheel, right? You go, you get the kids ready, you go to work, you do your thing, and then you cook dinner, and you do all this stuff, and you're like, what did I even do today? Or like, what just happened? You know, you're like, what is life?
Right,
Who am I?
And then all of a sudden it's like Friday, and you're like, well, what?
No, I think, we're all like just so hurried through life. Like, I think there is just such value in like taking time to do stuff like this and like reconnecting with yourself. And I know it sounds cheesy, and like probably me like 10, 20 years ago would have been like, really? What? You know, I remember even doing a story with a gal about meditation. And I came in thinking like, okay, yes, we should meditate, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, sit down and like, I'm going to make you do this. And I was like, really? I have to do this? I'm like sitting in the chair and, you know, deep breathing, doing all this. And I was just amazed. Like, it was just my testimony of like, oh my gosh, there's something to this. Because I just felt like it was like a load lifted off of me. And like, I almost got like those tinglies in your brain, you know, like your head when you get the tinglies. And so to me, I was like, okay, there's something here. Like, I think more people need to be aware of this and do this, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think I believe and feel that people who take time to really drop into these practices and experience them are oftentimes the people who are then like making changes in the world. Very small, even just one-on-one individual, right? So I do think that as you connect to your energy, as you like move things out of your system and find yourself in resonance, that like you are also amplifying and just improving life for everybody else, you know?
Making the world a better place.
Absolutely. And it can just be, you don't even have to be out doing anything in particular, but by simply showing up in more radiance, right? And like that inner glow, like that just makes people want to figure out how to do that too. They're like, oh,
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk quick about the services you offer. You sort of mentioned a few there, but how would people like find you, and what exactly are you offering?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm currently running a sound healing training. So I'm teaching people to work with sound instruments, their voice, and cultivate these spaces, these sound environments and soundscapes. And so that's a training that's currently happening, but I'll have another one in 2026.
Okay.
starting in 2026 in January, I'll be leading a 200-hour Yoga Alliance accredited teacher training. That'll be down at Moccasin Springs. And I do it in their space. It's a really lovely way to receive your yoga teaching certification.
Yes.
And I've been doing that for many years. I've had a school for at least, I think, 6 years now. And so I've had the opportunity to train many people in the area, and that's just really a gift. And then I work by providing experiences and events. So typically they're 90 minutes to 2 hours. A lot of times I use sound and breath work and maybe cacao.
Yeah, what's the cacao?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I got it.
Yeah. So cacao is essentially, it's like original hot chocolate, basically.
Yeah.
So I've been working with it for many years now, and it's sort of like seeing a burst in the world. So, which is great. I love that so many people are connected to it now. But I use cacao that comes from Peru, and that's where my teachers live. And so it's considered like a plant ally, and so it's ceremonial grade, which means that it doesn't have any of the additives in it, no added sugar, like. When it's cultivated, like they pull it directly from the tree, they open it up, they roast it in the sun, they dry it in the sun, they roast it over the fire. It's all by hand, it's very loving and really beautiful. And so when we use cacao in my sessions, it's in liquid form. And it's basically like thick hot chocolate, but it's really beautiful. It works right in your heart space. And so one of the main components of cacao is theobromine, which actually helps to release dopamine and feel good sensations in the body and to reduce cortisol levels. And it's full of antioxidants. It's really actually very good for you. I rarely drink coffee anymore. I typically drink cacao every day. And
now I want to try it.
yeah, you'll have to come sometime.
No kidding.
So that's a lot of my like big events. Those will typically be 2 hours. But then I'm spread throughout the Black Hills. I do things in Custer and up in the Spearfish Salt Cave and here in Rapid. And we'll do private sessions. So I do private one-on-one sessions. Typically those are like a series. So we work together for like 1 to 6 sessions and work through stuff. I also do events, like group events. I support other people's retreats. I do private events, rites of passage for like if you're having a big birthday and you don't want a traditional birthday party, or if you're about to have a baby or expand your family. I work with expecting couples as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, lots of things.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, the meditation, mindfulness. Yeah, there's so much there. That's amazing. And then say your name, your business, and how they could find you, like website, Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is sacredspiritualspace.com. On Facebook, you can either find me under Sacred Spiritual Space or Clarissa Mae Yoga, and it's M-A-E, May. And then on Instagram, it's also Sacred Spiritual Space. But if you look up Clarissa Mae, it should all also populate on any of the social media accounts. As well. And those are typically the best places to find out where I'm doing or sign up for my emails. I usually send like once a month to say where I'll be for the month, and what's happening. Or if I have like private session openings, etc.
Yeah, I feel like, this next year, I feel like people, this is like your, what do you call it? Like your challenge to people, right? Like start digging into this kind of stuff. I know to some people might sound, to some people it sounds hokey or something. It's a little kind of, but there is just so much to it that people like don't knock it till you try it, right? Type of deal.
Yeah.
And I just think people just really need to dig into this kind of stuff because it's so helpful.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits. And instead of living in a constant state of stress and anxiety, right? Like if you could live in a space of happiness and balance and just calm and feel good. Wouldn't you want that?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would too. So
absolutely. Okay. All right. I think we've, had our time here today. What do you say?
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.